Lady. Welcome back to the ladies room, and today I am reviewing the book Raybearer by Jordan Ifueko. Ifueko. It is 367 pages and it took me about a month to read. Before I read the book, I was at the indie bookstore sale and saw some surprise books in the center of the bookstore. The books were wrapped in different types of wrapping paper, and the paper obscured the titles of the author of the book, and they each had a note with a brief synopsis of the book on them. It added some mystery to the book and I liked it, so I bought one. I unwrapped it and it was this book. At the beginning of the book, we are introduced to the main character. Her name is Girl, or the Lady's Daughter. She is from a continent called Arica, and she lives a bountiful life in the desert, but she feels lonely and left out because she is always around her servants. Okay, everyone calls her mother the Lady, and the lady is never around, and when she is, she seems really distant from her daughter, and she rarely ever talks to the girl directly, and she's not allowed to go out far. The girl is not allowed to go out very far or meet new people. She spends all day studying. She spends most of her time studying the Irit Empire and the different kingdoms within the empire. And the servants think that she is evil. They don't want to talk to her because she has a special power, which in this book it's called a hallow. When you have a power that is magical. So her hallow is when she touches somebody, she can see their story, and she gets flashes of their actual life, and she feels what they felt at the moment. It's very intense. All right, so one day she's pulled outside by the night air, and she ventured pretty far from home. I think it was further than she'd ever been before, and she runs into a Magi or a Megi. Magi, I think it's a Magi. She runs into a Megi or a Magi, and this is basically a genie. A Megi is a genie, and this particular genie is bound to the land until he grants 3 wishes to the lady of all people. The Megi tells her a wild story about her mom when her mom was young, and so her mom had 3 wishes. The first wish she used to create the land where no one can see her and the people who are loyal to her. So no one else can see this place that they're in. And the second wish was to create the daughter, which she kind of forced the genie into creating this daughter with her. The third wish was for her daughter, to the girl, to kill the emperor's son. So don't forget, she's magically compelled to to fulfill this last wish because she is her daughter and she's half genie, half she's half genie too. So the plan is the daughter is going to pose as a candidate for the young emperor's court. So she has her 2 best friends drop her daughter off at the capital. One of her friends is good at glamoring people, kind of like a vampire, and basically you can manipulate someone's vision to see things. And the other friend is the Prince of Songland. The emperor chooses 11 court members when they're very young so that they can grow up together and have a really strong bond. With her genie powers, she gets into the court, but she's really torn about it because after she met the young emperor, she introduces herself as Therese and becomes his friend. So the emperor chooses 11 court members, and each one represents one of the realms in Irit, the empire, except for a place called Songland. We'll get to that later. The emperor has this ray, which is a light that comes from within him and can connect with the other members of the council, and it makes them all stronger. Each person who he shares the ray with protects him from a different type of death. and there are 11 different types of death that he could be protected from. And when they're apart from each other, they get weaker because the ray, I guess, isn't as strong. The closer they are to him, the stronger it is. So the further away from them, they start getting sick and weak, and they call it the council sickness. It's all part of the bond. She was there for a long time, and the lady tried to send some people her way to push the issue and see what she was doing up there. Come to find out that her daughter was wavering a little bit. Back to Songland. Every couple of years, the spirits need a sacrifice, and the children who are going to be sacrificed are all from this one place in the empire called Songland, and they don't have a vote in anything, and they're marked with all these like tattoos as they were born, and they are marked to be a sacrifice. So when they go to the underworld, these tattoos light up, and it's a map that guides them to the underworld. Most of them don't make it, but some of them make it, and the prince, that's the lady's best friend, is one of the people who made it. He teamed up with her mom. The prince teamed up with the lady because he's the Prince of Songland, and he wanted to stop the empire from sacrificing his people. She promised that she could change on that by becoming emperor. But of course, in the end, the lady was really selfish. She didn't care about all that. She's actually the emperor's disowned sister, quiet as it's kept. According to their rules, their ancient rules, women can't be ray bearers. If they have the ray, they have to share it with their brothers. And so she really didn't want to do that because she knew that she was stronger than the ray bearer. She staged a coup low-key and tried to create her own council, which is what got her kicked out in the first place. That's why she tracked down the genie and forced the genie to have a child with her so that she could have control over the empire. By the end of the book, we find out the full story through the genie's pool. Teresa, or the girl, has to choose between saving the emperor and saving her mom. It was a tough decision, and she tried to hang on to them both. I can't spoil the story, but the journey was epic. Every character, I would say most of the characters had a really strong backstory, which made the book really interesting to me. And the characters are very well placed. The sequence of events kept me interested from cover to cover, and I think that each character really stood on their own as far as their backstory, their whole, their personality. Also, there's a sequel to this book, so I can't tell you what it's about because that would totally give away the ending, but read it so we could talk about it. And I give it a 10 out of 10. I liked it. Have you ever read Raybearer by Jordan Ifueko? If you have, I want to know. Leave it in the comments. Have you read the sequel? I also want to know about that, but don't spoil the ending. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.